What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another FIFA 20 video. Today guys, for the second day in a row almost, we're going to talk about a little bit about FIFA stuff and a little bit about just real life stuff, I suppose. First and foremost, it is great to have Premier League football back, but not if you're an Arsenal fan like I am. Unbelievable performance from David Luiz, not in a good way. Gets subbed on because of an injury to Mari. Has a comical error to give away a goal, gives away a penalty, gets sent off. That's just typical David Luiz and typical Arsenal, really, isn't it? But it is good to have football back. It's nice to have it back, even though like the atmosphere isn't quite the same. I think Sky did a great job with the like fake sounds or just like using sounds from old games and stuff. I thought that was quite good. But I'm actually kind of here today, more so to talk about. Also to talk about almost like the last video on the channel where we talked about the summer heat promo. And I don't personally particularly think the left back card for Mendy is particularly that good. But what I wanted to talk about was why I don't particularly think it's that good, because I didn't do a very good job of explaining to myself explaining to you guys what was going on in my mind with why I thought it was a bad idea. But second of all, to kind of give EA some understanding of what my perspective is as a FIFA content creator and as someone who loves this game and such. And just to kind of like explain to you guys, I'm getting a lot of like tweets specifically, are you asking for things to grind for? And then EA give us something to grind for, and now it's not good enough for you. And it's like, that's half right and half not. But the first thing I want to show you guys is a tweet from Mitch 22 minutes ago, and he tweeted me this image, and he said, this time last year we had these requirements. And of course this was not particularly difficult, and for cards, I will be honest, not necessarily as good as that Mendy in a meta sense. Alessandrini was not a meta striker or attacker because he didn't have the jumping and heading. But Kimpembe was absolutely a phenomenal centre-back. But you can see that Alessandrini, for a 91 rated Futties, was win 3 squad battles matches using 11 MLS players on world-class difficulty. That was it, 3 wins. And Kimpembe was score using League One players in 5 rivals wins. And that was it for a Kimpembe. When we look at what we've got going on for this Mendy objectives card, right? And there's a lot of layers to this. And as I say, I probably should have done a much better job of explaining it in the first video that I made earlier today, and I just didn't do a very good job with that. So I'm going to try and do a better job of it here as to why I personally don't particularly think it's very good. So this one here, Rival 5, win 5 rivals matches to earn 85 overall Footmas Mendy. This objective, first of all, for me, is a bit silly, but also not too bad. You just have to win 5, right? So you just have to play rivals. Eventually you win top 5. There's no team requirement or anything. And I don't mind a win condition when there's no team or objective requirement. However, to ask people to win 5 rivals matches for a Mendy that some people might already have is a bit silly. But obviously, if you have him already, you can then already start using him and working towards the other things, whilst also working towards this, and then just put one of them in another SBC somewhere else. But, you know, the lack of potential for other SBCs, because there's no icon SBCs this year, is also a bit silly. We then go to skilled footing, scoring 3 separate rivals matches using 4-star and 5-star and 85 overall Mendy in your starting squad. These ones for me are, even though there's no win condition, because you know, I use the term we're in June, right? And yeah, we are in June, and I think that does have to be taken into consideration. But we're in June. It's not difficult to get 4-star, 5-star players into your team. Obviously, minimum 4-star, 5-star. And so it's not going to be difficult to just score a goal with Mendy and a 4-star, 5-star. So I don't really mind that too much. I just think it's a bit finicky for this stage of the game. But we'll get to like the fair and the unfair critiques of my opinion very soon. The next one is La Liga lineup. Play 10 rivals matches with 85 Mendy and 6 La Liga players in your starting squad to earn 87 overall Summer Heat Mendy. This I love. Just play matches and make it 10 or tie it to rivals points. You know, like make it be like 10 matches. You'll probably get, let's say on average you win 5, lose 5, and score some goals. You'll probably get like, geez, what's that? 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 rivals points during those 10 matches. If EA just set it to like play rivals with 85 Footmas Mendy and 6 La Liga players and earn 5,000 rivals points, yes, you'd have some people just manipulating it with 5-5 draws. But generally speaking, you wouldn't. And the reason why you wouldn't is because there are plenty of objectives and plenty of people doing plenty of different objectives in rivals. But as a way to remedy that, I love the play 10 rivals matches for 85 Mendy. And so with 85 Mendy for 87 Mendy. And so with this here, win 5 rivals matches, why not just have that as play 5 rivals matches again? Like I said, it is June. What one of the last ones has, right? Play 12 rivals matches, that's fine as well. Score with Mendy in 4 rivals wins and keep a clean sheet and win by at least 2 goals whilst winning, and assist in 10 games whilst winning. These ones here, these 3 specifically, are literally everything that I find wrong with this Mendy objective and why I don't particularly think is good. And here's for me the separation between these and the prior objectives, right? First of all, 10 separate rivals wins whilst assisting and 4 whilst scoring. Now, you can do those all in the same games and do that in 10 games, but then winning 10 games in a row and hitting both conditions at the same time is going to be very difficult. Winning 10 games in a row in the first place is going to be difficult. It's going to up your skill rating by so much that you'll be in a much higher skill set. But what these 3 specifically do, and not necessarily this one because it's just 1 win by 2 goals, but it's quite hard because it also gives you the the goal difference, the 2 goals, the win, and playing with him, yada, yada, yada. It's a bit arduous, right? What these 3 here do is encourage everything that we've hated in Rivals this whole year. And that is people deranking. And I know EA have tried to put the Division 4 and above 100k pack as a buffer for that. And I'll explain why I personally don't think that's valuable in a second. But this promotes everything we hated, because you're going to have Division 1, 2, and 3 dropping down to Division 4. And by product of that, Division 4 players are likely going to drop down to Division 5 or 6. Division 5 players are going to be dropping down naturally because there's an unnatural order, because people are not only trying to win, but trying to score goals or assist goals with not even specific nations or players with skill moves and weak foot, but a specific card. Like only that one card is good enough for these objectives. And so when I think about how good this Mendy is, because the 89 and the 93 have been upgraded to 5-star, 5-star as well, which is fantastic. But when I think about how good this Mendy is, you are looking at a bare minimum of 10 rivals wins for these 3 and 5 rivals wins for the initial Mendy, which you still need to get. But if you already have Mendy, that 5 rivals wins count into this 10. But if you don't, you're now looking at a bare minimum of 15 rivals wins. And because of the rival structure, and whilst trying to do it with objectives, you're looking at 20, maybe 25, maybe 30 or more games just for these games, let alone the play 12 and then play 10 and hopefully getting the other things whilst going. You're literally looking at 40 or 50 games for this Mendy card. And if this was, and this is where there's some fair criticism with, I thought you wanted things to grind, and that some unfair, right? If this level of player and this level of objective strength was released 6 weeks ago or 10 weeks ago or 15 or 16 weeks ago, I would not have a problem with it, because not only would I be able to just take my time to grind towards it and know that he's going to influence my squad in a positive manner, but it would be so early in the game, or so much earlier in the game cycle, that the market would be so much higher. But this Mendy here, now, again, what I want to show you before we go into the market side of things, I love this. Play 10 rivals matches with a team and him. I love this. Play 12 rivals matches with Mendy and 6 French players to get the one with the 5-star skill moves. I love that. And I love that because you don't need to derank. You don't even need to care if you win or lose. You just need to play. And when you just need to play, and you don't need to win, and you don't need to score with Mendy or assist with Mendy, or assist from across using Mendy 3 times, or score from outside the box with a player with 4-star, 5-star 2 times. When you just need to play, it gives you the freedom to not care whether you win, lose, or draw, whether you score 1, 5, or 500, whether you use your best team or your worst team, if you go in with an untradeable set or your brand new players. If you've just done that Ndombele, you just want to just use him, just go and pop him in the team even on 4Chem, because who cares? You don't need to win. You just need to play. I love that. I love the fact that there are certain games here that you just need to play games with. If there was more of this, much more of this, I would be delighted. And I urge EA, I say to you as somebody who loves this franchise and loves this game, but is getting frustrated with these like really, really long-winded, unnecessary, toxic, competitive objectives, your game cycle is coming to a close. Stop putting people through this pain in the game that they've been put through for the last 9 months, and let us have fun with all of the cards that we've accumulated over the last 9 months. And I promise you that from my perspective, when I'm having fun on FIFA, I am more inclined to go and spend money on FIFA when I, especially with the best of impacts and such, I'm more inclined to grind the game because all I have to do is play with the team that I want to play with. But when I'm not having fun in FIFA, and when I feel like it's a chore to go out and do these objectives, I will circumvent everything I possibly can by deranking myself, by, some like for objectives that are based in friendlies, by matching up against friends, doing them, letting them let me win, and then getting the objectives done like that, or I just won't do them. And if you just want people to play your game and have fun and be natural at having fun with playing your game, remove this, and just find more things like this and like this. And it's okay to have some of the stuff like this, if you want to just be a little creative with objectives. Just please, for the love of all that is holy, stop tying assist and scoring objectives with wins, especially when it's kind of condensed to either one or a very small group of usable players. Now, the other reason why I personally don't think this Mendy is necessarily or particularly spectacular value for money is because the market from today onwards will just crash, right? No two ways about it. It will absolutely poop the bed. And the reason for that is because the best of is in packs. And so let's take Richarlison as a prime example. I mean, his price was 600,000 coins yesterday. His price is now 430,000 coins. He's gone down already by 200,000 coins, give or take. And this promo's been out for 4.5 hours at the time of recording this video. And that's how much his card's gone down by. Imagine after a week of him in packs, I don't know how long these shapeshifters are in packs for, but 2 weeks or 3 weeks of him in packs. Imagine that Ndombele probably had an influence on his price going down. Like these cards, they've just become less and less and less relevant because of the fact they're getting packed so much, they're so far behind the power curve, and there are already so many better cards. So even Vinicius Jr. yesterday was just under 200,000 coins, now 144 or 113 on Xbox. Take this as my understanding from years on years on years of playing this game and having the best of and such. This isn't just a snap reaction. The market will just continue to trend down now. When they put in the next set of best of players, which are always going to be better than this set of best of players, they're better, they come down, which even furthermore forces the price of these cards down, because you just sell your Vinicius to go and buy a team of the season striker that's very similarly priced but better. And so it has a knock-on effect. And then when they release the third set, the best set of the best of, it continues to drive the market down. So whilst Ferland Mendy, in a normal sense, would typically and usually be an incredible value for money objective 4 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago or 12 weeks ago, now the reason why he's not, other than the fact that he is super meta, but I still don't think that he's worth the time that's needed. You got cards like this Ndombele SBC, which I said in the video is banging value for money. You're looking at 120k plus 2 packs back for a card this good. Like, yeah, he only has 3-star weak foot, but this is where, again, people wouldn't care about weak foot or skill moves and stuff if there wasn't silly objectives tied to win conditions. And so you can get this card for 120k, unbelievable card, yet for Mendy, at very, very, very best, you're going to have to play at least 25 games. 25 games, especially if there's no, 25 games with wins is going to take you hours and hours and hours. 120,000 coins to make won't take you anything, right? You can make 120,000 coins in no time at all. You've probably got 120,000 coins in contracts sitting in your club that you've just been too lazy to sell. You probably already got so many players. Like, you could, dare I say it, just go and grind the Sudamericana. It takes you 30 minutes, get a 90 rated card, bang it in the pack. You only need 82s around it after that. It's going to cost you 15, 20k, and you get a pack back. Make half hour of your time, right? EA have prioritized menu grinding once again over gameplay grinding. And I understand, you know, as I say, some of the criticisms are they can't just give it out for free. Absolutely they can't. All they got to do to not give it out for free is just let us earn it whilst playing, not whilst doing these obscure, just mundane objectives that drive people off of the game, not bring people onto the game. The other reason why I would only go and say that Mendy is not particularly great for now, and why, you know, when people say you said you wanted something to grind, they give you something to grind, and now you're complaining about it. It's literally because, again, it comes down to the power curve, right? Yes, he's a top end left back. No question about that. 5-star upgrade is great. You can get the 87 rate or the 89 rated Ferland Mendy without any win conditions other than for the Futmas Mendy. So I believe the 89 one is here. This earns you the 89, right? So 12 rivals matches to play, score some goals, assist some goals, play 10, score in 3 separate rivals matches, and then win 5 for Futmas Mendy. So if you ignore this, because a lot have Futmas Mendy, or even if you take this into consideration, but again, because there's no other really stupid things involved in this, and you just got to win 5 rivals matches, you've got a month to do that. That's calm. You can almost do this, and this by accident and get yourself an 89 Mendy. I'm all for that. You know, I'm all for that. That 89 Ferland Mendy is a brilliant card. EA had the pace wrong when I made the video before. And now with these stats, 5-star, brilliant pace. You pop a Sentinel on him. You've got yourself an unbelievable left back without having win conditions. That's brilliant. This needs to be the same. Right, this needs to be a card that doesn't have win conditions. Again, in my personal opinion, right? Brilliant card, links with the 96 Modric, with Varane, with the SBC Ramos, with the SBC Hazard. Like, there's so many links to this card. You're never going to not fit him into your team. I think we're going to see a lot of people have this card, but I think we're going to see a lot of people go through pain to have this card, of course, right? But the other issue with the market getting pounded down in this Ferland Mendy, some guy was saying to me, oh, you'd have to pay 600, 700k for him on the market. You absolutely wouldn't. Other than prime moments, Roberto Carlos, who is obviously unbelievably rare to pack, hence his price. He's not that expensive because of how good he is. He's that expensive because of how rare he is, right? Other than both Roberto Carlos icons, an SBC left back is the most expensive left back at 440k. Then Team of the Season NepentheZ. Then another SBC left back. Then Roberto Carlos again. Team of the Season Alphonso Davies and Team of the Season NepentheZ are the most expensive 2 left backs. Davies is obviously brilliant. And then another SBC left back. Like, the left backs in this market, most specifically because there are already so many good left backs from SBCs. Alexandro is endgame. Marcelo is just good because of the 5-star skill moves. Ferland Mendy, it's a lot of people still rock, and of course with the 5-star is very good. Marcos Alonso is genuinely endgame. Who's the other left back? Who's the Team of the Season left back? Where is he? Where's the Spanish Team of the Season? Am I missing something here? It's because I've gone for price, isn't it? And he's worth nothing. But if we look at the ratings of left backs, when you've got the Tagliafico here, look, Tagliafico has crashed in price, guys. This is an unbelievable endgame left back. Yes, he's a little more difficult to link, but he's a 98 rated left back with a Sentinel with outrageous stats. You can link him with Quincy Promes, who will also crash in price. And look, he's gone from 107k down to 79k already, 78k. That's a crazy price. And then when you look at Promes, if I can type in the word Promes, now he was expensive. Now he's 436k. That Promes Tagliafico link for 500k between them is a banging price, right? And that's what I mean, like, with the market, right? That, like, Christian Fuchs, if you got him, great. Where's the I can't remember where the objective left back was. Regulon, right? This was so much easier to get. And this is also an absolutely unbelievable left back. Sentinel chem style, bang. Yep, it doesn't have the 5-star, 5-star, which is a massive plus. Doesn't have that new fancy card design, which is appealing to some people. But we've already had end game left backs from months ago that were way easier to accomplish than this Ferland Mendy. And that's my concern. EA are making us work harder now for similar level cards in a game where the market is just imploding, and I don't think that's right. So when I say, yeah, I would love things to grind for, what I would love to grind for, as again to reiterate, is to be able to just play the game naturally and work towards cool cards, with maybe having to think about adjusting my team here or there with specific leagues or nations or players, not adjusting my team, making sure I've got 4-star, 5-star, or making sure I'm scoring with, like the Grealish objectives. They're crazy, right? The Grealish objectives are crazy. And again, is a prime example of some of the stuff that I just think is absolutely stupid and useless in this game. Score a finesse goal in 2 separate rivals matches using championship players. Now, no win condition there, so it might be a little bit painstaking to get a championship player, especially if you haven't got the team of the seasons or the flashback Rooney. But then again, maybe not. Assist 2 goals in 2 rivals matches with players with a maximum 3-star weak foot. Now you might have to change like a whole line or whole side or quarter of your team just to fit in a player with a maximum 3-star weak foot. And then the one that is the most frustrating in this one is this here. Score and assist in separate rivals wins using Premier League midfielders with a minimum of 4-star skill moves. And I tell you why that's the most frustrating, right? And we'll use the 4-4-1 or the 4-4-1-1 or whatever it is as a prime example. What do I need? I need something with, I need this, right? Firmino fits the bill. 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot. So he has everything that you need if you score and assist with him. If you have Firmino here, he counts as a midfielder. If you have Firmino here, he counts as a midfielder. If you have Firmino in the cam spot as a cam, he counts as a midfielder. If, however, you have the same player in the same starting position in your team, but as a centre forward instead, he doesn't count as a midfielder, and now he doesn't work towards the objective, which is moronic to the highest degree. And so when we look at the Grealish objectives, and it says, score and assist 7 rivals wins using Premier League midfielders with 4-star skill moves, not only do you have to find Premier League players that you have or that you enjoy or that you want to use that aren't going to make you tear your hair out, because imagine using this Firmino. That's who I've been using, right? I'm using a base gold Firmino against team of the season and team of the year and icon centre-backs, Maldini's all over the place and such, and I'm trying to use him to score goals with. It's already hard enough as it is. You then have to know that you have to convert him to being an actual midfielder. Another person that I'm using is Raheem Sterling, 3-star, 4-star, and English. So it works with assist 10 goals with through balls using English players, works with Raheem Sterling. Score and assist with 4-star skill moves works with Raheem Sterling. But another situation here that's absolutely stupid is that Raheem Sterling here as a right wing doesn't count as a midfielder. He counts as an attacker. And even Raheem Sterling like this as a right mid in the right wing spot doesn't count as a midfielder. However, Raheem Sterling here does. It's the same player with the same base position. Yet if you start him here, he doesn't count. But if you start him here, he does count. And if you play, what am I on? I'm a 4-5-1. If you play here and have him as a right mid, this works. But if you play him here and have him as a right wing, this doesn't. And that's stupid. We shouldn't have to finicky around with the team and the players this much to complete objectives. It's absurd. But if the objective was score and assist with, just score and assist with English midfielders in 10 rivals games instead of wins, guess what? I'm calm with that, because then I could just put my favourite English midfielders on the bench, sub them straight in. I don't have to worry about winning the game. I don't even have to think if have I scored and assisted. You know, score in 10 games with English players and assist with 10 games with English players or Premier League midfielders or whatever it may be is fine. But when you're forcing me to do all these little nuances just to put a team together to do one objective, in a competitive game mode where people derank and make it unbelievably toxic to play in, it just drives me nuts. And so when people say, isn't this what you asked for? This is not what I asked for. Maybe I wasn't as specific as I should have been in what I asked for. Maybe I wasn't as clear as what I should have been in what I asked for. But I promise you guys, this is not what I asked for. This is not what I want. This is not what the game should be. The game should absolutely categorically be far more based around this kind of objective where you just have to win and that's it. And around these kind of objectives where you have to do these weird stuff but with no win condition, or this kind of objective where you just have to play but you have some weird objectives. Those three conditions for me are perfect. And one last thing that I want to show you guys, and I know I've like really banged on today, and I apologize for taking your time just to moan about the game again. Here goes Nepo. Is I just want to show you a tweet from Japes. And it's, again, something that I've asked for a long time. I don't know why we can't complete these objectives in FUT Champs. Exactly. The reward structure in Rivals anyway is so weird and wrong that you play 40 or 50 games. Let's say you play 30 games, right? And you get yourself rank 1. You can play 30 more games and you don't get any benefit for that unless you're working towards an objective. And at this stage of the game, the packs offered in return are just way too low. They don't have nearly as much value as they did have. I stop at 14 wins or 7. Well, the last 2 weekend leagues, I stop at 14 wins every day, right? If you could do objectives in Champs as well, I would take Champs so less seriously that I would play all 30 games. I still might only get to Gold 1 or Gold 2, but I wouldn't care because I'd be A, happy that I've pushed on to a better rank whilst doing objectives, and B, being happier that I've actually been able to do the objectives in a far, far more enjoyable game mode that is FUT Champs. And I never thought I'd have to say something like that FUT Champs is more enjoyable than Rivals, but that's how I feel. So I wanted to come on today, as I say, just to clear up, I suppose, a confusion. Like I said, I got a lot of replies, a lot of comments saying I thought this was what you wanted, like this is the stuff that you're asking for. And the only way I can like relate to you guys that maybe still don't get it is in the way that this isn't what I asked for. And I used this analogy on Twitter before, right? If I ask somebody for a glass of water and they pour a glass of water and physically throw the glass at my face, and the glass breaks my eye socket and puts me blind in one eye, did I get what I asked for? Technically, yes, I got a glass of water. But is it what I wanted? Categorically not. I wanted somebody to hand me a glass of water. And so, is this EA giving me what I asked for? Technically, yes, they've given us something to grind for. But they've theoretically thrown the glass of water in our face rather than handed us the glass of water. And some people might be like, you can't have everything for nothing. You can't just have EA handing you everything. Absolutely right? But my only argument to that is if this was a month ago or 2 months ago or 3 months ago, I would have loved this Ferland Mendy. Oh, hell yeah, get him in my team. We are heading into the middle of June. The new game will give you full access in the middle of September. So you've got the rest of June, all of July, all of August, and half of September. You are looking at literally 12 weeks maximum of this game cycle left. But we all know they stop FUT Champs about 4 weeks before the new game comes out. So you've got 8 weeks. 8 weeks left of this game. And you think playing 50 or so games over a 30-day period for that Ferland Mendy is worth it when you're going to have 4 weeks left to play with him once you get him? Come on, guys. You got to be better than that. We've got to be better than that. And we've got to hold EA to a better standard than that. Otherwise, we're going to continually get glasses of water thrown at our face. This is going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.